Today we have a video that I've been very excited to make. Since I started my little YouTube channel, I thought about making this particular video, and I was just waiting for myself to get low enough on tea and also just have time to go to the place that I go for all of my little herbs and things. And today was that day, so I am really excited to show you guys like how I make my little tea blends. I'm not an expert or anything like that, but I just really like tea a lot. I drink tea like every single day pretty much. All sorts of different types of tea, which I'll show you in the video. But yeah, so I'm going to show you like my process and how to do it yourself if you want to as well.
Glowworms show the path we have to tread. Dreamers, we should be asleep in bed, moving slowly through the springtime air, holding moments in the depth of care, holding moments in the depth of care.
Okay, putting it on. So this is how much I ended up spending on all of that. So that's also including the chapstick and the jam, but it cost me 19 pounds. Now I'm going to show you how much tea I got. I know that you pay more up front, but I'm going to show you, think how many tea bags what I'm about to show you is. Like, do you guys know how little tea is in a tea bag? It's just the tiniest little bit of herbs. And like, look how much I get. Last time I did a haul like this, it's probably around like 7-8 months ago, and just recently have I started to run out of tea. So I feel like it's definitely worth the price. And like, look at this spearmint. This spearmint, this amount cost me 96 pence. So in dollars, probably like a dollar something, like $1.10, $1.20, something like that. And this is like a lot of spearmint. If I were to get spearmint tea bags, it would probably cost me like, for some reason the spearmint tea bags are expensive, so it would probably cost me like $3.50, and I would get like maybe this amount of spearmint like under my thumb in reality. So it's like, it's really worth the price if you really like tea and you don't care to have like the blends that they make in the tea bags.
How the night could make us feel, loving, living more with love to stay.
Okay, so now I'm back from my little trip. I'm gonna show you what I got at the second shop, the fruit and nut shop. It's like a dried fruit and nut shop. They actually know me there by now. Like, the guy was like, he knows me like because I'm always there, but getting like, not always, but I go often. So when I was there, I got just like rose buds, rose petals. It's like a lot. This entire bag cost me, I think, three pounds. It's a lot of rose. And then something that I'm gonna go more into this, but something that I've recently been drinking. This is 100% inspired by one of my favorite influencers. I think her name is Glow with Ava. Yes. And I just love her videos. I talked about her in another video, but she has her own like tea brands. And when I have money and I'm not like borderline broke most of the time, I will definitely be buying her tea because it looks really high quality and just really nice, and has a lot of ingredients that I don't know how to get, like toasted like rice and things like that. That are really specific. But I did start like getting inspired, particularly because I've been trying to help my hormonal acne, like to lessen it. And so I've been drinking, let me show you guys, red dates. I've been drinking a lot of red dates in my tea. I've been drinking like pretty much every day. I've been drinking a tea with like red dates. I was drinking red date, cinnamon, and ginger. But I actually, again, inspired by her content, and also a lot of content that's been going around recently on like Instagram reels and stuff. I got like more Chinese herbal sort of ingredients. Like I got white fungus and things like that. So I just got this like I got a good little amount, and it cost me about 2 pounds, like a pound 50, 2 pounds. So yeah. So now I'm gonna get into, like, now that we're here, I'll show you everything. So here we have everything I used to make my tea. I just took it all out and laid it all out. This is just an empty box. This is just an empty box that I just use to store my, like, as much of my tea stuff as I can. So I just took it out and gave it like a little wipe and everything. And then here we have, so like I said, I've been drinking this sort of like Chinese tea recently. So I have like herbal. So I have the red dates, goji berries, and white fungus. These are actually pretty affordable to get at the Asian market. And the white fungus and goji berries, well, I'd had goji berries before, but white fungus I just got like last week. My cat. And it's really interesting. Like, it doesn't have much of a flavor, but it's an interesting texture, and it's supposed to be really good for your skin. So my skin is one of the main things that I'm working on right now. Now you see my massive tea haul that I did today. This is all probably around like 25 pounds worth, but the last time I did a haul this big, like I said, was like last. And finally, here we have an assortment of different containers that I've used for my tea over time. These are actually just old coffee containers from Sainsbury's that this guy, I asked at the hostel I work at, I knew they were just tossing these, so I just asked them to save them for me. And one day I went upstairs, and this like really gruff, like super muscular guy who works there, who's really grumpy, he was like, come upstairs. And then he like opened the cabinet of the common area, and he had saved like a bunch of these for me, which is super sweet. So anyways, but yeah, so you can see I still have a little bit of tea left even. I didn't even run out of everything. I forgot that I had this one. This one I use for anxiety. It's just got like lavender, nettle, chamomile. And then this one is like, I think I might just top this one up. It's just what I use for like hormonal health. It's got like raspberry leaf, rose petals. So yeah, I might just top these up because I do drink these pretty regularly. And it's nice to just have them in my drawer, and I just scoop a little bit and I'll just drink it. So, and then these are containers that are just empty now that I'm gonna, I think, use this time around. So this is an old like collagen powder container that is empty that I'm gonna clean out. And I have these this has a little bit of chamomile and a little bit of nettle that I'm just gonna dump into my blends right now so I can use these for new ones. And I have this little one. I don't know if I'll use it. And then I have an old, not pictured here, I have an coconut oil jar that I'm going to clean out and will also be used for tea. So this is the whole haul. Again, it's just worth the money for me. It's worth like the investment because it saves me money from going out and buying coffee out. Like this amount, this is like maybe what, 5 coffees out. So yeah. Okay, now here comes the fun part, is trying to put everything together and make my little, like, blend, and just trying to figure out what I want to put sort of, like, in combination. I keep thinking, like, if this whole psychology thing doesn't work out for me, like, it'd be so fun to start, like, a small tea brand or something, like a small business, because I really do love, like, this is so much fun. I also want to try this vanilla tea that I got. I don't usually get, like, this kind of tea, but, because I'm really sensitive to caffeine, so I don't usually drink a lot of caffeine, but I'm just wanting to try this. So I'm going to make this tea, and then we're going to get to work brainstorming together. Okay, I brewed it, and so I have this. This is actually a piece of a teapot that I bought that immediately broke and shattered into a million pieces. It's supposed to be a really cute glass one, but it turned out perfect because this thing fits perfectly in my mug. Here's my thinking. The big one that I've been wanting to make is a beauty tea. Because I have one for anxiety. I had one that I actually ran out of that was for digestion. So I guess I might make another one of those. But my big thing is that I am trying to heal my hormonal acne, like I said a million times. And I was like, if I could just get like one good tea that I can drink like daily, and it's like, you know, like a beauty related thing. Here's the problem is that the best thing for hormonal acne is supposedly spearmint. Where's my spearmint? But spearmint doesn't go as well. Like, I feel like it doesn't mix as well with some of the other ingredients that I have that are good for skin and beauty. Nettle is another thing that's really good for beauty because that's why I got like a lot of both of these. I drink a lot of nettle tea. Nettle is really rich, I think, in iron. It's got a lot of minerals. It's just overall really, really good for you. I think particularly if you're a woman, it's really good to drink. Or not even a woman, someone who menstruates. I think it's really good to drink nettle tea. But also, it's really good for growing your hair out. Like, it'll grow your hair out really fast. So I put nettle tea in like a lot of my, like pretty much every blend I have, I put nettle tea because I'm like, let me just max out my hair grow. I want my hair to grow out much faster. So these don't go badly together, but I don't know if they go like, I'm just gonna experiment. Now here's the thing, is that I have some other things that I think are good for your skin. The reason that I think rose is good for your skin is got a lot of antioxidants, and it's also got a lot of vitamin C in it, and vitamin C is really good for your skin health, right? I think spearmint and rose, I could make these go together. I feel like these are not. I'm gonna have an experiment segment of this video. I think these could go well together. Do these three go well together? Maybe. Then we got skin and hair, but I just also got the juniper berries that have vitamin C in them, and I thought, oh, that'd be great for my skin, but does this go well together? I don't think that it will. See, I think it might even go well if I didn't have the spearmint, but like the minty flavor. See, this is looking promising. This combination right here is actually nice, but it's just the spearmint is like the number one tea that they say drink it for hormonal acne. So that's why I keep trying to squeeze it in, but I don't know if it'll squeeze in well to this, but we're just going to experiment and see. That's going to be the main one that I'm going to be playing around with today. I think the rest of the tea is just going to get sort of topped up into the blends that I already have. I just got things I already like. Like I said, this is my anxiety one. It's got lavender, nettle, chamomile. I think I threw something else in there that I just had a bunch of. That I was like, you know what, whatever. It was like dandelion leaf or something. Just something random that really doesn't even. Well, I don't taste it, but it's like, it doesn't particularly go well together. So I'm not going to put it in again this time. I think last time I was also just trying to use up some like extra tea that I had, but yeah, this time around I'm just going to be really more concentrated. So we're just going to try out some different combinations and see what goes well together. I really, really, really want to get the spearmint in there because that's the hormonal like acne one. And I'm like, I know I'm probably going to drink 1 cup a day of tea at least. I don't know if I'm going to drink like a multiple. So I'm just trying to get like, I'm trying to like squeeze in like consistency sort of like into my tea, like make myself like get all of the things that I want to get in. But I don't know how we're going to mix this all up. Quick note, while I'm going to do my first tea taste test, I like to use coconut sugar. Before I was using brown sugar, or I use honey usually in my tea, but honey is a little bit more expensive. Okay, this is pretty good tea. This is the vanilla. It was just called vanilla, and it said like Chinese tea with like notes of vanilla, like with like natural vanilla. I don't know if I'm guessing it's probably black tea. But it's pretty good. Okay, here goes nothing. We have a large kettle of water I just boiled. We're gonna just dive right in and just start putting combinations together. The big thing is just gonna be what goes with the spearmint, because if I have to make one that's hormonal health and one that's like just beauty, I'll do it. But I would like to make an all over, like all around beauty tea. So here we go. Okay, another consideration as the juniper berries brew. I'm actually thinking that the flavor is going to be a little bit different than I expected, because I looked it up and apparently they're like piney and citrusy. So that actually could go well with spearmint, I'm thinking. But what I was realizing, I was like, wait, this is taking a really long time to brew. And then I looked it up and apparently it takes like 15 minutes to brew. And I was like, the thing is that some of these other herbs, if you brew them for a really long time, the tea is going to be really bitter. Like nettle is going to be probably really bitter if you brew it for 15 minutes. But this is my Shayla, my love, my Bird and Blend cold brew tea bottle. Again, one of the bigger investments that I made for me drinking tea. I really like it. You just leave the tea in here over, like, you know, from like 4 to 8 hours with cold water instead of hot water, and then it makes tea. And then I just recently washed it, so this is down here, but this goes up top and you can just pour it out straight out the bottle, which is really cool. I actually do not have the funds to drink the actual Bird and Blend tea. Like, I haven't actually tried, except for in store, I haven't actually tried the tea, but I do use it for my own tea at the moment. And it's really nice because I just leave it in while I'm at work or overnight, and then the next day I have like a little drink. And it's nice in the summer, and summer's coming up. The point is, I was thinking I could make one that goes into this bottle, like one that's more for like cold brew. So then, like, for example, the juniper berries, I could probably leave that in cold water overnight, and then I could make I could make one blend that goes in here and one blend that is like a hot tea blend. And I think that might help my dilemma that I was having about how to get them all into one. Okay, these juniper berries are taking forever, so I'm just gonna chat. I'm gonna give you my tea about my tea. Anyways, but my favorite tea blend that I have made to this day is nettle and rose petals. It actually is very good, very comforting. So when I was moving into my flat, I actually was like, I'd envisioned, like, when I have my first apartment, I'm gonna start making my own tea. Never really done that before, but I was like, that would be such like a me thing to do. That'd be so cute. And so when I finally found out that I was moving, I finally got a place to move into. I went and I got a big old bag of nettle and a big old bag of like rose petals, and that was the only loose leaf tea I had in the beginning, and I would just drink that, and it was really good. So highly recommend with honey. Another little story as we wait for these freaking berries to flavor this water is that I think that I always loved herbs. Like, one of my first memories of being a child, I was thinking about this today, was that when I was really little, so we used to live in Brazil and then we lived in Peru until I was like 5 or 6. So we had this little like so back then we had like a little like a vacation house sort of thing that we had in Brazil, like just a really like little small house in like sort of like almost like by the rainforest. Like, it was very pretty. I'll see if I can include like some pictures up here while I speak. But one of my first memories is just walking around and smelling this herb, and I was like, what is this herb? Oh, that's what was in my anxiety tea. It was lemon balm. It's not dandelion leaf. But anyways, I think that the herbs I remember smelling was lemon balm. But I remember just smelling it and just thinking that smelled really, really good. I think something else too, like mint, like the mint that you like grow in a garden. Like, it was really, really good smell. And then later on, when I was like in the 8th grade, I planted a little garden. That's probably like one of the best summers in my memory, was that summer, and all I did was just listen to 5 Seconds of Summer, go to the public library, and I had like a little herb garden, and I planted lemon balm. And lemon balm, it grows like a weed. I didn't know that. I had lemon balm for literal years after not even taking care of the garden anymore. I always had lemon balm, but I really liked to make lemon balm tea. And I would just take the leaves and I would make a little tea out of it. But I really, really like herbs, and I just love herbal tea a lot. I was thinking today, because I was imagining my little tea brand. I was like, if I had a tea brand, what would it be? I thought it'd be so fun to have like a tea that was like, just like sort of like more wild herbs that from like my memories. I feel like I have such a like, I don't know, I always love to make things like creative, but I was like, it'd be fun like for me to make an herb of like my memories, or like, you know, also just like wild herbs that grow in Brazil. I think would be a really fun tea. You know, I thought that would be like cool, but yeah, maybe one day I'll have like a small tea brand. I'll like sell at a farmer's market or something. That would be so fun. Okay, final verdict on this combination. We have spearmint and juniper berries. This is the one I thought was not gonna work out, and Weirdly, I think I just didn't know what juniper berries were, to be honest. I thought they were gonna be more of like a berry. Um, it's actually not like, I feel like the juniper berries are so light. I don't really taste them that much at all. I think like maybe because they just need to steep for a really long time. But like the flavor that I did taste was like exactly a bit more like, it said citrus and pine, and I thought that was pretty accurate. And so the mint actually did not go badly with that. But the spearmint is definitely the more like powerful flavor here. I think that I'm gonna use this combination. Yeah, I think I'm gonna commit to the combination, but I think I'm only going to make it in my cold brew bottle because the juniper berries need to steep for a long time, and I had to add the spearmint at the end. So for some reason, when you make it in the cold brew bottle, I guess the hot water probably is what makes the tea leaves bitter if you leave it in too long. But I don't have that problem really in the cold brew bottle, like it because the water is cold. I think it just works. It just brings out the flavors without making it really that bitter. Sometimes it's the if you peppermint. I found peppermint in the cold brew bottle was really overpowering, but spearmint was fine for some reason. I actually prefer spearmint, so it's a peppermint. Okay, quick, everybody telepathically choose one, nettle or rose. You guys chose nettle. Okay. First of all, do not get a cat when you're depressed, because then when you're not laying in bed all day just like questioning your life and your sanity, they will like freak out and be upset that you're not laying in bed all day. But I wish I'd gotten a live reaction, but my laptop was glitching out. Y'all did not make a good choice. This was not good. I didn't like the nettle with it at all. I would go so far as to say it's disgusting, actually. So, I'm just gonna stick with the spearmint and the juniper berries. I think it's like a pretty subtle flavor with the juniper berries, but I'm gonna see this tea as like medicinal in a way, because it's not like that exciting, but it'll help my acne, and that's really the main thing that I'm looking for. So I cleaned out this little collagen container, and this is gonna be, I'm using the smaller one because I haven't tried it in the cold brew bottle yet, and I'm scared that it's not going to be that great. So I'm just going to make a little bit, but it's like a good little amount. Okay, so here we go. We have our first little blend here. So juniper berries and spearmint. Unexpected. I thought this was the one that wasn't going to go together, but so juniper berries are apparently good for calming inflamed skin, reducing redness, soothing skin conditions, hydrating and repairing the skin barrier, neutralizing free radicals, detoxifying, and cleansing. And spearmint, I know for a fact, is good for hormonal acne. So this will go in my cold brew bottle. It's a little bit, I guess the flavor, again, the juniper berries, I haven't tasted them in the cold brew bottle yet, but it wasn't a strong flavor. I think it's a little bit more masculine than I expected, in the sense of like it's kind of giving like a men's deodorant. Not the flavor. The flavor is actually fine, but in terms of like the flavor profile, it's like citrusy, piney, and then minty. But not bad. That's number one. Okay, I will not bore you guys with the details this time of me tasting the tea, because I have already drank it. Like, I've tried this tea a million times, and I know that it's good. I'm gonna make a second tea that's also kind of beauty, or just like a general tea that for me to drink every day. This time I will use nettle, rose, and then I'm gonna put chamomile in it, because even though, okay, so the nettle will grow your hair out fast. Rose is good for your skin. It's got vitamin C, antioxidants, all that. Chamomile is not it's not like people wouldn't, I would say, usually look at it as a beauty related tea. But first of all, I have anxiety, so I think that less stress is always good for your skin. But I think it is also supposed to be good for like lowering redness or inflammation. I know you can use it as like a mask for your like under eye, or like wash your face with chamomile, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I will be putting that, and that's gonna be tea number 2. So I'll show you that when it's done. The sun is quickly going down, so I have to finish this, but quick. But look at this. We have all my tea. I'm gonna shake it up. So I'm gonna taste it. I know it's gonna be good because, like I said, I've already had this tea. Like, shake. I've already had this tea before a bajillion times. This is like the first loose leaf tea I ever made with this, pretty much this combination. And then I think that what I'm considering is that I love clove tea. I have like a hunch that maybe clove would actually go pretty well in this, and clove is amazing for your skin as well. So I'm gonna see if it does taste good. If not, I'm just not gonna include it. But clove kind of, I think it might go well because this is very like, I feel like it's got a very like floral, exotic sort of flavor with the rose. I was also thinking this while I was putting this in. If you want to make a tea out of rose petals, do not use like a rose from like a bouquet that someone gave you. You want to make sure that the rose that you're using is like safe for food and it doesn't have pesticides or anything crazy on it. Make sure that you're not getting like decorative rose petals or anything because they will be bad for you. You want, like this one I actually got from like a shop that, you know, has like this for people to make tea. So just disclaimer. While my tea steeps, let me show you another use for the rose petals. If this is something that you're into, if this is your cup of tea, so many puns today. This is my box. I showed it in another video. I like to smoke like CBD and herbs because it's just nice sometimes for relaxation. But you can, I'm about to grind up these rose buds and put them in my little baggie, and then they'll just go into future little like joints. I don't know. If you're into that kind of thing, you know, it's just good for relaxation, I would say. I think from what I've read, it's like, yeah. But of course, no smoking is really great for your lungs. I only do it literally like once every few months or from time to time when I'm in the mood, but it's just a nice thing to do, and it's definitely better for you than nicotine. Okay, no more natural light, but I actually did really like it with the cloves. I only stuck like 2 cloves in at the end, but I don't have that many cloves, so I think that's perfect. I actually don't want it overpowered with cloves, but cloves are, let me look it up. Well, cloves have a lot of non-skin related benefits, but they are supposed to be anti-inflammatory, so they're good for everything, for your skin. So I'm just gonna stick those in as well. Last disclaimer before I get to my last part, but this is a general thought process about everything on the internet. You should always make sure that everything is gonna also be good for you, healthy for you, and not just take somebody's word for whether something is like, you know, of course some things can have benefits, but maybe won't be harmful to you with your particular medication or your benefits or anything like that. When I tell people, when I'm talking about health benefits, I'm just saying it works for me or it's good for me, I think, but don't go out there and do a bunch of stuff that people tell you on the internet without making sure that it's going to be good for you. So as I'm saying these health benefits, you know, disclaimer. So now we have all of our teas here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make, this is something I've wanted to make for a long time. I'm going to make labels for all of my tea just because I thought it'd be fun. So see you when the labels are done. Okay, I'm actually really happy with how these turned out. Okay, so here we have, I was actually already thinking of this one. Anxiety. It's gonna turn out backwards in my video, which sucks, but here we have all of the ingredients. So we have lavender, chamomile, nettle, and lemon balm. Look at that. Cute. And then we have Beauty Brew. Beauty Brew. Okay, so it says rose, nettle, chamomile, and cloves, and it just has these little witches. And then next we have Mellow Moon. I named it Mellow Moon because this tea is a tea that I drink on or before my period because it has raspberry leaf, which is very good for reducing cramps and things like that. So it's got rose, nettle, raspberry leaf, and chamomile. I think it has something else, but I don't honestly remember. So Mellow Moon. And then lastly, we have my new one, which is the juniper, berry, and spearmint. And this one is called Forks Washington. See, here we have a little picture of Edward from Twilight. We have Jacob. and it just says spearmint and juniper berry. I wish I was not backwards. Maybe I'll fix that. But yeah, so all in all, it's been a fun day. These have been all of my teas. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I just never seem to find the time. So it was fun to find the time today, and I really have not looked at my phone once since I left the house at like 3, and it's currently 10 p.m. So really a good way to spend my time, I think, and I just had fun. It's one of my like favorite hobbies, and I don't always get to sort of like engage with it because once I get my tea, I sort of stick to it. So it was fun also to get to like switch up some things and try some new little blends out. So I'm really excited to put this in the cold brew, my Forks Washington, to put it in the cold brew tea bottle. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed and you got inspired to make your own tea. Bye.